Welcome to Geek Philosophy, where we love geeky wisdom. If you're new to the channel, my name's Brian, and today I want to give you an update on our Guardians of Getica playtest. Now, if this is the first time you're hearing about any of this Guardians of Getica stuff, I have a couple videos that kind of explain the whole big picture of what we're trying to do with this subsetting designed with kids in mind, but let me give you a quick recap of what we've been doing so far. Like I said, the Guardians of Getica subsetting is designed and developed with kids in mind. The intent is to provide a safe and easy way to kind of ease kids into tabletop role-playing games. Something that parents and game masters can use to introduce new players that might be a little younger into the hobby and simplify the rules and encourage roleplay and creativity, all while having a little bit more control over the violence that might appear in the game. In this setting, the world is under threats from the Frights, and only the Guardians can stop them. Now, Frights are monsters that can only be perceived by children and elders, because in this world, your memories of the Frights are suppressed or altered once you reach adulthood, but they return in later years. The Guardians of Getica is known publicly as a youth organization, but the children and the elders of the world know they're really a secret organization of heroes that are protecting the world. The playtest packet I developed included basic information about the setting. It also provides some basic backgrounds for the heroes and 3 simplified classes: Protector, Explorer, and Keeper. Each of these classes has their own unique abilities and features, and they progress as does a 5e character class. To make it easier, the playtest packet also included 6 pre-generated characters as examples. And you could use these characters as is, or change them however you wish. Just think of them as inspiration for your own characters that you might use when playing in the setting. And I've also included a sample adventure, the Creepies of Willow Creek, to help with the playtest and sort of get you understanding how you might organize a game like this. I used 5e as the base rule set, which turned out to be a really good idea. Later on when we get into feedback, I'll explain why. But you could modify this setting for whatever rule system you like to play in. Ideally, you would use whatever game system you normally play in with adults so that you're easing the kids into that once they are comfortable with the rules and understand the complexity of the story. By the way, I'm calling this a subsetting because it's meant to exist within any campaign world that you like. You could put it in the Forgotten Realms, you could put it in Dragonlance, you could put it in Exandria, you could even put it in Pathfinder's Golarion for that matter. More importantly, you could make it part of your own homebrew campaign world. Because when the characters grow up and forget about what they did as Guardians, it lets the players possibly graduate into the full rule set of whatever game system that you're using. So let's talk about what we are here to talk about. Let's get into that playtest. First, let's look at the actual numbers. In the first question, I asked which game system did you use for your game? Now, at least for this playtest packet, everyone that decided to join in was playing 5e, or some version of it. So like I said earlier, I'm glad I based the materials in 5e. It was easy for everybody to jump in and use it. For the second question, I asked how much fun did the kids have playing in the setting? I know this is hard to quantify, but it's really the goal of playing almost any game, so I thought it was important to ask. So playtesters ranked from 0, which meant no fun at all, to 5, or best time ever. I'm happy to report that 25% of the people who responded ranked it as 4 out of 5, and 75%, the rest of everybody, gave it a 5. That's really great. So that leads me to believe that we're onto something here. Question 3 asked, what was the most popular aspect of the setting for your table? And this was important to me because I wanted to understand what about the setting specifically was interesting to the kids and the adults playing the game. 25% really liked that only kids and adults can perceive the Frights. Another 25% thought that the Guardians as a secret organization was their favorite part. But 50% said that the kids being the heroes of the realm was the most exciting part of the game, which makes complete sense. But everybody seemed to be using the Creepies of Willow Creek Adventure for the playtest, half of the people using it as is, and half of the people modifying it to use in their own way. And beyond just the numerical data that was there, I also got some qualitative feedback in the comments themselves. So here's a summary of what worked well. The feedback from our playtesters shows that the core concept of the Guardians of Getica is appealing to the kids. They really loved being part of a secret organization of heroes. They loved saving the realm from the Frights, and they liked the fact that they were the only ones that were able to perceive them because that made them the heroes. And the adults thought that the setting had a nostalgic vibe to it, reminiscent of the 80s and 90s cartoons, and that added to the charm and accessibility of the game. The playtesters also appreciated the simplified mechanics because it made it easier for younger players to learn and enjoy the game as they progress. The use of 5e, like I mentioned, was actually well received because everybody already knew 5e, so it was sort of a seamless integration into what they were already playing at their own tables. And for the most part, everybody really liked the sample adventure, The Creepies of Willow Creek, and you could use that for free even if you don't like to be a part of playtesting material. Just go sign up and you can have that adventure. But let's talk about where there was some room for improvement, because that's what playtesting is all about. There were several aspects that could benefit from a little bit more development, and I agree with all of these. One major area for improvement was providing more clarification on the frights concept and the relationship with traditional D&D monsters in the world. And that's on me. I need to explain this a little bit better. I need to clarify a little bit better how this works together with what's going on in the world as a whole, because there are monsters that everybody can see and everybody knows about, but then there are the frights that only the kids and the elders can see. So I need to clarify where that balance is. I'll work on it, and hopefully the players will have a better understanding of the dynamics of this setting, but I want it to be as easy as possible to work people in. And developing a wider array of frights with unique abilities and challenges would also add a little bit more depth and excitement to the game as the players keep playing. They want to be engaged with new foes and new challenges as they go, which makes complete sense. Luckily, each new adventure that I've been putting out has a new type of fright, so we're kind of building up that catalog as we go so we can playtest one at a time. Another area for improvement is the presentation of the setting and the materials, and I'll be honest, it's really bare bones right now. It's basically like text document, because I didn't add any maps or any visuals or things like that, and that really would help. The suggestion of having color-coded character sheets is a really good idea that I plan on implementing with other playtest material. Most of the playtesters found it really helpful to create their own visual aids, which really helped with the gaming experience, and you should totally do that for any game you play. This is no exception. Quick note, I had this specific playtest comment that I found really interesting. They said, the Hero Forge character creator is an amazing tool for creating visual aids, meaning they were using it to create the visual of what the kids' characters look like. And I could not agree more. We love Hero Forge in this house. I've got some on the back shelf that you can't really see because they're too small, but I'll put in some footage now that shows you a little bit of what they look like on the gaming table. And I've actually been designing and purchasing color printed plastic minis from Hero Forge for quite a while. I kickstarted it when it first came out, and I'm happy to say that we actually just partnered with them, as chance would have it, and so we're now an affiliate. So if you want to check it out, click the link in the description below, and you can design your own custom minis for the game. And if you have the Pro account, you can actually create and download tokens for digital versions of the game based on your characters that you designed. Okay, but back to the playtest. As far as official Guardians of Getica images and maps and other visuals, I'm hoping to move in that direction very soon. Hopefully we'll be able to secure funding to release this whole subsetting in its final form after we get all the feedback from each of these playtests. And finally, there was recommendations to expand the lore and backstory to provide a more, rich and sort of immersive experience for the players and the dungeon masters, and fleshing out the story of the Guardians, the history of them, and their relationship to the various factions within the world, and the origins of the frights. It would add depth and intrigue to the setting, and I hear you. But I'm also a little on the fence about whether to do this or not. It's not that I don't want to give you what you want, but I want to make sure that it fits into your world. So defining the origins of the Guardians and the frights has to fit in the realm of whatever system and game you'd like. So I'm on the fence about how to tackle this. I have a couple ideas that might work, but if you have your own ideas, please add them in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback. Let me just say, this is the first playtest, me as someone putting out playtest materials, I'll say. I haven't been involved with other playtests, but me actually putting out my own materials for others to take a look at and playtest, this is brand new for me. So I'm really happy that it's been this well received by the people that have signed up to do it. It's encouraging for me to continue down this road. So if you haven't signed up for the playtest materials already, please do so. The link is in the description below. There is room for improvement, and the more feedback I get, the better I'll be able to adapt the setting. And all of the things that were identified in the playtests fit with what I was hoping the setting would be anyway. So great minds think alike, I guess, and it means that I'm actually helping to make something that you will use and enjoy at your own table. So taking this into consideration, I want to make sure that I'm refining and expanding on the world of the Guardians of Getica subsetting in a way that will be fun and engaging and immersive, and most importantly, it will fit all ages of gameplay. So if you're on the mailing list, I'll have a new playtest packet out soon. If you're not, like I said, sign up in the description below. After you've signed up and confirmed your email, you'll be able to download that first playtest packet. So you'll still have access to all the stuff that I already put out, but then you'll also have access to the new stuff that I'm releasing. So I've released 2 Guardians of Getica adventures in addition to the one in the playtest. The Rusty Menace and the Missing Elder are now available to play for all of you that have signed up. Just know that they're still in the same text format, just to kind of make it look like and feel like the previous adventure as well. I was thinking, though, getting the feedback from these surveys is sort of like seeing into your own game from a far-off distance. Me looking into your world from way over here. Which reminded me of a quote from one of my favorite 80s cartoons. "Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight." Cheers.